Traffic has been a nightmare over a lot of the area again today.
Yeah, and whenever you're seeing just the two of us for our Wake Up Charlotte to go, you know that weather is doing something. And here is the biggest issue that I've been talking about all morning long. This is a very large tree that's over Providence Road. And if you've driven past here, you know how busy this area is. So really it's just congestion all across the area. So Sardis Road, Randolph, everything is just completely just gridlocked right now. But as you can see here, they are doing a pretty good job. Before you had the tree that was completely blocking it, so I think they're trying to hurry this along as quick as they can, Larry. And look at the shards that came from this tree. This is one of those massive, shallow-rooted oak trees that just toppled over those higher winds, because it's a type of day that if you look up, you can see how fast the clouds are moving, and that's going to be the precursor for the windy day that we see today, and eventually some strong storms.
One of the problems in this area, in fact, we'll take a look at the wind speeds, winds gusting right now. One of the problems we have here is because of these older trees. Some of these trees are 50 to 75 up to 100 years old. They're going to be toppling just like that one did. We've got winds gusting well over 25 up to 30 miles per hour, and that's kind of our weather picture for today, Chris. It's just going to be a very windy day. And these are even non-thunderstorm winds that we're going to see throughout the area today.
And that's going to be the crazy thing. So oftentimes this is a good support for a lot of moisture and storm fuel that blasts into the area, but those winds getting up to 40 to 45 miles per hour with the precursor rain. That's the key, because we see the rain through this morning. That saturates the soil. We have a prime setup for not what we just saw on Providence Road happening once, but maybe a few places across the area.
So we got the gusty winds and then the rain, especially mid-morning into early afternoon. Rain heavy at times. Wouldn't be surprised if we don't get a few thunderstorms out there as well. In fact, we'll take a look at Futurecast and show you what's going to happen. You can see that line of heavy rain this morning. That's around 10 o'clock this morning, Chris. Line of showers extending from Statesville, Charlotte, Gastonia. Wouldn't be surprised to get a couple of thunderstorms, especially as we get towards early afternoon, don't you think?
Yeah, and it's the front that's moving through. I think what's interesting about this setup is you can see how much more organized the storms get as they work their way off towards the east. Even though all of us are fairly under that low to medium threat for severe storms, I think where the storms are really by the early afternoon, you're seeing that a lot more prevalent look of some of the oranges, the reds starting to pop up there, and we're always looking to see if there's any hooks along the line. So there is a low chance for tornadoes, but the biggest thing is going to be damaging winds along the line, but then just with this system in general.
And we're in the Charlotte metro areas in this medium category for severe weather. That means we could see a few strong and severe thunderstorms. Always a chance, as Chris was saying, to spin up tornado in that. So we got really the heaviest rain I think is going to be late morning, early afternoon. And the great thing about today, this is a pretty fast moving system. By this evening, we'll see clearing skies.
And the biggest question with this, and it depends on what model we're looking at, the main rain, of course, is coming this morning into the early afternoon. But there are some indications that the actual front, if we have a dry lull, get some sunshine, that a secondary line could form. So I think that's the main reason why we're under that area of orange, a medium threat, just in case some of those isolated cells move through. So we have the main bulk of rain. Don't let your guard down, because the middle of the afternoon we could have one last hurrah of storms. Then after that, as Larry says, we're good to go.
In fact, I think the severe weather threat today would be as we get towards the afternoon. You can see late afternoon, maybe even early evening. But that, I mean, this model right here is indicating a much more positive look.
Yes.
But once again, it's the speed of that front as it tracks in the air, whether we see that severe weather threat or not today. We'll be here throughout today, and then Chris is here at 11:30 this morning. And more this afternoon around 4 o'clock. We'll keep you updated.
We're here for you, and for the time being, because they're moving quick, avoid Providence Road if you're literally about to head out the door, just because that downed tree, and hopefully